Tonight on KGW News, a chilling close call as a tree smashes a car but misses the driver. Plus, Portland's leaders ask how much noise is too much.
Subjective enforcement of any regulation is just ripe for abuse.
The rule change, some say, would make the system fairer. Then, the latest street takeover that has local businesses fed up and wondering why police couldn't stop it.
We had some of our team members trying to get out through it and find themselves right in the center of it.
But first, tragedy in Washington County. What neighbors are telling us about the mother and her 3 young children, all found dead. Let us begin with that breaking news in Cornelius, where tonight a community is grappling with the deaths of 4 people, including multiple children. Catherine Cook's live in Washington County with some new information. Catherine?
David, we now know the victims in this case are a 37-year-old mother and her 3 children, ages 2, 5, and 7. This case has left this entire neighborhood in disbelief and anxious for answers. But for now, deputies aren't releasing how the victims died. They'll only say the public is not in danger.
This is awful. This is a tragedy.
In Cornelius, Washington County Sheriff's deputies investigate the deaths of a 37-year-old woman and her 3 kids, ages 2, 5, and 7. They lived in this yellow house on North 15th Avenue near Davis Street.
A community member discovered the bodies inside and then called police.
It happened just after 3 Tuesday afternoon. Neighbor Casey Dennis says a language barrier limited how much he could visit with the family, but says they always waved.
Very happy, a lot of the times we'd see them, they were always playing together, and nothing like this would have ever popped into anyone's mind.
As the medical examiner responded, detectives would not say how the mother and her children died, but noted the Violent Crimes Unit was helping with the case.
This is a very challenging thing to come to. I can't even imagine what the families and the friends of the individuals are going through right now.
A family, and a mother.
None of it made sense to those watching, thinking of their own families and wondering what they could possibly do for this one.
Our hearts are going out towards that family, and it's just sad to see.
Deputies have not released the names of the victims at this time. They are asking anyone in the community with information on this case to call their investigations division. That number is 503-846-2500. David, back to you.
And as detectives said earlier, it's a case that's tough to talk about. Thank you, Catherine. Appreciate your reporting. Stay with KGW for updates on the breaking news anytime on KGW.com and beginning at 4:30 in the morning on KGW News at sunrise. Okay, to more breaking news now, with President Trump's tariffs on imports from more than 50 different countries now officially in effect. That includes a combined 104% for goods from China. And tonight, the president is promising more.
We're going to be announcing very shortly a major tariff on pharmaceuticals. And when they hear that, they will leave China, they will leave other places because they have to sell. Most of their product is sold here.
All right, on top of that, the president signed an executive order that will triple U.S. tariffs on packages shipped from China valued under $800. That essentially eliminates an exemption and could have a big impact on retailers like Shein and Temu. Right now, most major markets in Asia are sliding. U.S. stock futures are also sharply down. Speaking of the White House, to get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, the Trump administration has canceled visas for a number of international students in the Northwest. That includes 4 University of Oregon students and 9 students and recent graduates participating in postgraduate training at the University of Washington. UW says it was not notified by Homeland Security and only found out when it checked a federal database. DHS citing an immigration status violation for the cancellations, but did not elaborate. Students who have their visas canceled are usually given just 15 days to leave the country. The man who killed a mental health aide in a Gresham group home nearly 2 years ago will be committed to the state hospital. James Calvin Smith was charged with second-degree murder for the stabbing death of 26-year-old Haley Rogers in 2023. In January, Smith was deemed capable of standing trial. Today, a judge found him guilty except for insanity based on Smith's mental health condition at the time of the crime. Smith will be committed to the state hospital until the Psychiatric Security Review Board determines it is safe for him to re-enter enter the community. The DA expects that may never happen. And in southeastern Oregon, the Red Cross is now offering financial help after the devastating floods in Harney County. Thanks to donors, money is available for people whose homes were damaged by flooding. Those who qualify can call 800 Red Cross or visit the Red Cross website. In late March, you might remember a stretch of warm weather caused rapid snowmelt, which led to flooding and damaged homes. Okay, let's take a live look outside over downtown Portland from our Rose City Skycam here. Falling some scattered showers and gusty winds earlier. It seems like we've dried out for the most part. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri in for Matt tonight. So Joe, what's on tap for tomorrow?
Oh, it's going to remain dry all night and into tomorrow as well. We'll start to see some kind of a mix of clouds and sunshine to start things off on your Wednesday. But the one thing we're not going to be picking up much of on the radar tonight is that light showers. And of course, that's pretty much all we saw. You know, it was about a 0.2 of an inch of rain throughout the metro area. And those thunderstorms we were forecasting never materialized. But you traveled up in the mountains, you saw several inches of new snow over the last couple of days. In fact, 48-hour totals, I should say, are close to about 6 to 8 inches. The snow level will be right around 6,500 feet tonight, and then got to wait until this upcoming weekend before you really start another chance of seeing some snowfall develop. But we go into tomorrow morning. Some locations in the Portland area will be looking at clear skies, but those clouds will start to thicken up by the later part of the afternoon. Again, we stay dry the entire day and into Thursday as well. The next system moves on shore as early as right around noon or so on Thursday afternoon. This model is showing by late morning we're starting to see those showers move in along the coast, and by I'd say the early part of the afternoon on Thursday, we'll start to see those showers return. But it's a pretty quick moving system because then we're just going to deal with more spotty showers heading into the later part of this week. And rainfall amounts today were just at 4/100ths of an inch of rain. I think I said 0.2 of an inch of rain. A few locations saw 0.2, but relatively light amounts throughout the Portland International Airport. I'll talk more about your detailed forecast in just a few minutes.
Oh, glad to have at least one dry day. Thanks, Joe. In an update tonight, Portland leaders are looking to change the way the city enforces noise complaints, with a councilor who introduced this plan saying its current policies are, quote, outdated and subjective. Alma McCarty has that story.
The specific proposal comes directly from the music community, who have spent the last 5 years attempting to get Portland City Hall to take action.
Tuesday afternoon, Councillor Jamie Dunphy from District 1 presented an ordinance to reform the city's noise code by repealing one of two ways Portland's been enforcing noise complaints.
This is a very blunt tool that the police have to determine something is, quote, plainly audible and decide it is too loud and shut it down without any sort of recourse, without documentation, and without any consideration of existing permits.
As an example of how current policy can hurt businesses and venues, the speakers brought up the closure of Soleil's, which operated in this building here behind me. It was Portland's last Black-owned jazz club on historic Alberta Street. Eben Hoffer, a local musician and director, detailed how, when a resident filed a noise complaint under one code, a more objective policy based on measuring noise decibels, it was denied. But when the same resident turned to a different code and repeatedly complained, the club ultimately closed down.
There are serious equal protection violations here. Everybody in the city should be operating under the same rules.
Canal?
Aye.
The committee voted unanimously to refer this to the full council to make two codes one that is both measurable and fair.
You know, the music industry is a hard industry to flourish in regardless, but at the very least they deserve consistent standards.
In Southwest Portland, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Tonight, Oregon is now one step closer to banning cell phones in schools after a House committee advanced a bill that would bar all students from using their phones during the school day. The bill goes farther than a previous proposal. Oregon students would not be able to use their phones during class, and phones would also be banned during lunch and passing periods. School districts would be required to enforce the no phones policy and to set consequences for students who break those rules. Lawmakers saying the goal is to fight back against the stress, anxiety, and lack of focus that research associates with some tech and social media.
There are a lot of different perspectives on what we should do as a state. The Dash 4 is a really bold step to try to address what we know is a distraction and often a safety concern, and frankly is really impacting our students' social dynamics in our schools as well.
Well, the bill now moves to the full House for a vote. To fallout tonight from a large street takeover in southeast Portland over the weekend, one that left neighbors frustrated and police saying all they could do was keep an eye on it. Daisy Caballero reports.
What really strikes me is how very dangerous it is, how close those cars are.
Dramatic video taken by a nearby business off Southeast 2nd and Morrison shows Portland's most recent street takeover. That left businesses and their customers scared for their safety.
We've been reporting on this for, like I say, the entire 10 years, over 3 different mayors' administrations.
Bridget Blackburn is the co-owner of Cargo and one of the shops that was open during Sunday's street takeover.
We had some of our team members trying to get out through it and find themselves right in the center of it. And there's nothing you can do when you're in that spot. You're just stuck.
Enough to where we got quite a few police calls for assistance.
Ty Ingstrom with Portland Police says officers were monitoring the situation with flashing lights to make themselves known, but didn't have enough officers to do more.
You can't send a couple police officers in to remedy a situation that's got hundreds of people and involves speeding, dangerous vehicles.
PPB points out these crowds often bring firearms and are hostile to police, and in the past have vandalized vehicles with officers inside.
I mean, as frustrating as it is and as unsatisfying as it is, I do actually understand it. We do know how understaffed PPP is and how long that's been the case.
And so I want them to know that we are doing what we can with the resources we have. We do missions on a regular basis around the city. We try and target some of these areas where the most dangerous driving behaviors are taking place. We'll get lots of officers together, we'll get a plane up above, and we will go after them, we will make arrests.
Now, PPB says that they made no arrests over the weekend, though they do add officers will continue to monitor future large and small pop-up events in the future. In Southeast Portland, Daisy Caballero, KGW News.